Hello raindrops and welcome to Govern Minute. Minutes that matter. This is Mr. A asking you to take care of three things right now. Like this video, click on the notification bell, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe. When this video is over, since you're going to like it, share it with your family and friends. As always, this video is dedicated to the glory of God who blessed this land. I'm going to talk about voting today. Voting is a very important topic, and it's very important to our republic. And we're going to talk about who can vote, who can't vote, and why people don't vote. And at the end of this video, I'll remind you not to be an idiot. That's coming. So let's talk about voting. Voting, states have the right to set voter qualifications. There are some restrictions on the state's rights. For instance, you can't be denied the right to vote due to race, color, or previous condition of servitude. That happened with the 15th Amendment to let former slaves vote. You can't be deprived the right to vote due to your sex. That's the 19th Amendment, when women got the right to vote. And there can be no tax or literacy tests required to vote, and no denying the vote to anyone at least 18 years of age based on your age. Okay, so how do you qualify to vote? Very basic, very simple. Number one, citizenship. You must be a citizen. Residency. You must have resided in a state for a certain amount of time. Each state is a little bit different. You can use a blanket general statement of saying about 30 days you have to live in a state as a resident in order to vote there. So traveling salespeople, college students out of state just to go to college are not legal residents. They are basically visiting there or working there in the case of the salesperson. And so they are not residents, so they can vote back in their home state but not in where they are on election day. States can't deny you the right to vote based on your age once you are 18 years old. Now, states can make a lower voting age if they'd like. States can set the voting age at 16 or 15 or 12 or 10, but as of right now, all states have it at 18. Almost all states require voter registration in order to vote. This is to help cut down on potential voter fraud. So that's it. Citizenship, residency, and age. Very simple, and yet a lot of people don't vote. A lot of people don't even register to vote. President Gore found that very inconvenient. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Now, some people are denied the right to vote. Some people are legally denied the right to vote. All states deny people in mental institutions or those that have legally been found mentally incompetent the right to vote. Almost all states disqualify those convicted of serious crimes the right to vote. And a few states deny the right to vote to those who are dishonorably discharged from our armed forces. So, most people can vote. Why don't they? They'll vote for American Idol. They'll vote for The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, or they'll vote for their favorite candy bar, or they'll vote for Homecoming King or Homecoming Queen. But a lot of people do not vote who otherwise could. Why don't they? Well, why don't people vote? Some cannot. Not legally, but they cannot for various reasons. For example, we talked about non-citizens already. People who are too ill or who are disabled and aren't able to vote. People who are suddenly traveling and are out of their precinct or their state on election day. We talked about the mentally incompetent who cannot vote. And those in jail and prisons. Of course, they're not going to be let out for the day to go vote, so they cannot vote. So let's talk about those who can but don't vote. A lot of people are convinced it doesn't matter. They feel like no matter who wins, it's going to be the same. The big guys are going to get the good stuff. We're just going to get the shaft. That old country song, they get the gold mine, we get the shaft. They distrust politics and politicians. They're all crooks. It doesn't matter. They all hate us. They all take advantage of us. Long ballots. A lot of people feel like they don't have a good enough grasp of the candidates running or the issues before them as a voter, and so they don't vote. Sometimes long lines at the precinct, long lines at the polling place where you go vote. We will stand in line for concert tickets. Okay, I'm showing my age. Now you go online. But we will stand in line for something fun. We will stand in line at Space Mountain. We will stand in line when a new restaurant opens up in order to be seated. But a lot of people do not want to take the 10 to 15 minutes it takes to go vote. Sometimes bad weather. People feel like it's not worth it. I really don't want to get in a wreck. I really don't want to be caught out in this rain or the cold, especially in northern states. However, most people don't vote purely and simply from a lack of interest. They don't keep up. They don't know. They don't care. As long as they got their phone, as long as they have their Facebook, as long as they have their Twitter, they're happy. But that's not us, right? We are raindrops, aren't we? Okay, so who's more likely to vote? What characteristics do voters have? They have higher incomes. They have higher educational status, higher occupational status, strong party identification. They're very Democrat or very Republican or very Green Party or very Libertarian Party, but they have strong identification with that party. They tend to be older. Voters tend to be married. Voters tend to live in urban or suburban settings, and more women vote than men. So when you go vote, we'll talk more about how the candidates get on the ballot later, but when you go vote, it's very simple, and we'll talk about precincts and polling locations and all that kind of stuff later. But there are two easy ways to vote. Well, one's easy, one's a little more involved. You have what's called straight ticket voting. You press one button, pull one lever, and every member in that party that is running gets a vote from you. So if you're a strong Republican, you press the Republican button, and every Republican on that ballot, from president down to dog catcher and everything in between, gets a vote from you. Most people, same thing for Democrats, right? Most people do what's called split ticket voting. They go race by race. They go president, they vote for one of the two major candidates most of the time. And for, let's say they pick Democrat, but for U.S. Senator, they might pick the Republican. And then for governor, they might pick a Democrat. And for House of Representatives, they might pick a Democrat. And for state senator, they might pick the Republican. Okay, they go race by race and decide on a race by race basis which party deserves their support. That's what most people do. It's called split ticket voting. And so, but straight ticket is obviously easier. You press one button and you are done. So, don't be an idiot. I said that at the beginning, and I'm going to tell you now. Don't be an idiot. Why would you be an idiot? Well, in ancient Athens, idiots, where we get the word idiots, were citizens who did not vote or otherwise take part in public life. So, do not be an idiot and vote. If you need any information on how to vote or how to register to vote, go to your state's Secretary of State office or call your local courthouse and they can give you instructions on how to do that. You can always Google how to register to vote and you can get it there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you paid attention because there will be a test at the next election if you can vote. So make sure and register and get ready to vote. This is Mr. A reminding you that we, the people, are the government. We'll see you next time.